Hi folks, it's Mark Smith with Family Tree Counseling brand, and hey, y'all are stuck with me tonight. My lovely wife Renda, she's been sick, so y'all be thinking about her and praying for her. She just hasn't been feeling well. And hey Jackie. And so y'all are stuck with me again tonight. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I'd like to say I was dealing with Hey Sumet. I'd like to say I was dealing with clinical emergencies, but truth is I was soaking my booty in the hot tub. I just needed a break after lots of clients. Hey Andy. Lots of clients today, and just needed a little soak in the hot tub. So sorry I'm late. Hey, I got a little update of Kay Bell. Hi. Recent trip to Indianapolis. I've got a little book report here. Hi Sarah. And I've got one question to answer. And then after that it'll be up to you guys' brilliance and talent. My glasses are all foggy. You guys' brilliance and your talent in either saying great feedback or hi Kelly, I can't hardly see, or asking great questions. So I got about 10 minutes or so here. Hey Jennifer. Hey Kate Nadine. Let me turn this on my computer here, and we will get the party started. Hey music lover. I gotta turn this sound off over here. Okie dokie. Artichoke. So yeah, Renda and I went back to Indianapolis for a little over 3 days. And I got to spend time with my lovely daughter, Taylor. And she's doing real well. And got to see some friends. I went from dinner to dinner. One night I had dinner with Renda and my best friend. And then I went and had another dinner with my wife. So if I look a little chubby, it's because I've been home having lots of dinners. Robert, what's up, dog? I got to play basketball twice. The second time was with my brother and my buddy Lenny, and they both have bum knees. So I was the fastest guy on the court for the first time in like 3 decades. The night's going wonderfully well. I just needed a little bit of hot tub break and refreshment. I've got nuts, and I've got my favorite Atkins bar. So I'm going to be dining in style here while we chit chat. So I had a wonderful time. Now I played with the young good players, and one of the fellas, after I missed 5 straight shots, he said, "You know, you've heard of running with the bulls?" He said, "Playing with me is like walking with the bulls." So and then ended the weekend by watching the Cowboys as we drove to the airport. And yeah, it's a hard time to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. I was in massive grieving after Aaron Rodgers did him in again. So a bit of a crazy day this morning. You ever wake up and your brain is foggy and there's just one thing after another, after another, after another, after another? It's one of those days for me. Okay, so I have a book report, and then I have one question from somebody named, I think it's Jackie, spelled really cool. So my book report, tomorrow at our neighborhood, we have a gathering of book lovers, but it's pretty much going to be me and a bunch of little old ladies. And you might say I'm a little old man or a big old fat man. I don't know what you'd say. But I don't know if I'm going to go or not, because I don't know them. High emotional detective. But the assignment is to bring your favorite book. And this here, it's called Another Chance by Sharon Wegschneider-Cruz, is my very favorite book. This very book here, I was assigned to read in 1985 when I was working in Lansing, Michigan at the National Council on Alcoholism. And it's how I got in recovery for my issues, because it's a book about the family roles. You know, the hero, the lost child, the mascot, and the scapegoat. And I was more of a lost child. And I've just always just loved this book, and it's been really special. I've loaned it out to people, but I'm like, hi, Charisse, if I'm saying it right. I always say, this is my favorite book, and if you don't give it back to me, I'll come hunting for you. But if you haven't read about family roles, this book is special. Sharon Wegschneider-Cruz, who started On-Site, which is the place that I like to go for workshops and treatment. And she started that, you know, probably like 40 years ago. But when I was down there in On-Site, someone screwed with my favorite sites on YouTube. What's that about? When I was down there at On-Site, the founder, who no longer owns On-Site, Sharon Wegschneider-Cruz, she was at an introduction night, and I got to meet her, and I told her, hey JC, I told her that she was, you know, my hero, one of my heroes, and that I got in recovery, and I started crying, and she couldn't sign the book because I didn't have it, but she signed her business card. And she calls herself a storyteller and an author, and her practice, her business is called Becoming a Sage, and this woman is a sage. But what kind of family roles did y'all play in your family? I was a combo lost child family hero, but lovely book, lovely old book. Y'all are talking about Silence of the Lamb. Emotional detective, you have to watch Silence of the Lambs. Y'all know what that means if you've seen the movie. It's my favorite movie of all time. Music lover is foggy every day. Alrighty. But Lost Child Pain is really, it's a great movie. And he was voted, Hannibal Lecter was voted greatest villain in the movies of all time, followed by Darth Vader. But really brilliant. Robert says, he says the same thing about when he lends his tools out. Well, this is sort of one of my tools. There's a lot of gaslighting going on in the TV series right now. Tell us about that. So anyway, just love this book. Sacred book for me. It's like a Bible. But yeah, emotional detective. Michelle, Psychopath Free. Yeah, that was a great book. Really turned my life around. Okay, so I got one question here from a Jackie. So Sarah was a lost child mascot and a scapegoat. You versatile. Versatility. Jackie's role is a punching bag. I was the the kind of family hero that wasn't like a big achiever. I was more a helper, like a co-parent. Oh, Andy, nice. Gaston is a huge overt narcissist. We're going to talk movies tonight. Okay, so Jackie says, thanks. How can you tell if a man is genuine? Okay, Kelly wants me to tell you about the roles. I'll come back to that, Kelly. Brilliant stuff. How can you tell if a man is genuine and the right sort and not a weirdo acting normal? That's a funny question. It is hard to believe he is for real. I find it hard to move on, and I don't know what to look for. Okay. So, if you know if a man is genuine, pinch him. Because he's too good to be true, so you pinch him. See if he's the right sort or if he's not some weirdo acting normal. It's hard to believe he is real. I find it hard to move on. I don't know what to look for. Okay, so what I would say is if you have been attracted to and drawn narcissists to yourself in the past, be very, very careful. Very, very careful. Because the chances that he's some form of narcissist are extremely high. So, unfortunately, if you've got a pattern and you've already drawn several narcissists to yourself, it sort of has to be they're guilty until they're proven innocent. Little Miss, who's really smart, says, don't fall for no love bombing. People do that professionally sometimes. They love bomb, and it makes me very skeptical. So be very careful, be very cautious. Surround yourself with a herd. Surround yourself with wise people who understand narcissism, who can have your back. Take things romantically very, very, very slowly. And as soon as you see a red flag, address it and have conflict. And get in therapy. I want to say get in therapy with me because, you know, we do family trees. And we can smoke the narcissists out of the bushes. Let me show you what a family tree will look like. There's a family tree. So, you know, as soon as there's the first little bit of conflict, you find out, can they do the work, or when they're confronted, do they get defensive and reactive? So, be skeptical, watch for red flags, take it slow, surround yourself with a herd, start therapy, go even slower. Kate Nadine, I found that going with my gut, well, with the borderlines who were super dangerous, I wasn't going with my gut. I was going with something else, which was problematic. It tended to overrule my gut. Okay, so Kelly, you wanted to know about family roles. Okay, so family roles. I'm not going to talk about the enabler. I'm eating nuts and sort of chewing, and you can see the remnants in my mouth. Isn't that classy? You can't say that I'm not all classy. Okay. So the first thing is a family hero, and it's usually the oldest, but not always. Roles can shift, but generally people don't have three. Okay, so Olive Grace Riley, I'll come back to you. Olive Grace has a long comment there. So the family hero, they get good grades, they do good in sports, their shit don't stink, they never get in trouble, they're class president, they're captain of the football team, they go to college, they get, a good degree, they make a lot of money, and they help. They're helpers. So that's a family hero. The second thing, what is the scapegoat? And the scapegoat the scapegoat is somebody who they decide they can't compete with the family hero. The family hero gets too good at grades, and they're just too good, and then the scapegoat wants to get attention by being bad. So when I was going to high school, we had this place called Cat's Corner, and that's where everybody went to smoke cigarettes if you were like a hood kind of person. And so scapegoats tend to do drugs, get kicked out of school, cause issues. Number 3 is a lost child, and that's quiet, fly under the radar, stay in your room and read a book, don't have a lot of friends, have a few friends that you're really close with, but not a lot of friends, quiet, shy, introverted, generally a lot of times you feel left out. And then the last one is the mascot, and most of the world's great comedians are mascots. Most of the world's great comedians grew up in an alcoholic family, and they either have a whole bunch of anxiety, or they use humor to cope, or they're spoiled and irresponsible, or all three. Spoiled, irresponsible, humor, and anxiety just sort of running through their system. Kate Nadine was a lost child. Jackie, you probably are a mascot because you're so funny. Kelly, so am I 0 for 4? You're not a family hero, a scapegoat, a lost child, or a mascot? What are you, Kelly, then, I wonder? Never. Okay, Kelly says she is a mascot. Are you a funny mascot? A overly protected mascot? Or an anxious mascot? Or all the above? Kelly is the oldest, but she's a mascot, and she probably leans more toward anxiety and humor. I'm finding that when you eat an Atkins bar, it really slows down your ability to talk. If you see yourself that way, Sarah, then that's probably you. Jackie says, I've seen Kelly in action. I worked with her. She's a hoot. Kelly, if you're a hoot, then you must be funny. Andy says he's anxious and funny. Andy was cracking wise last week, I believe, in a good way, in a funny way. It's snack time tonight for Marky. So Kelly's a hoot. I've got a little bit of mascot in me, but not so much when I was growing up. Might have shifted into that, later on. We're all birds of a feather. We're all funny. Hi, hello, is that your name? Hi. My husband doesn't know how to speak about what he wants. What is he? His father made fun of him all day, and his mother has a severely low self-esteem. Hi. That sounds like a codependent. They don't know what they want, and they don't know how to ask for what they need for. And he was abused by being made fun of, and his mother has low self-esteem. So, all right. So now y'all are going to have to bust loose with the brilliance and the questions. Actually, I was going to go up here and talk with Grace. Grace something. Where'd she? Okay, Olivia Grace Riley. Complex PTSD has a lot of similarities as a quiet borderline. I am not manipulative or cruel, so I'm going with complex PTSD. My mother was a full-on borderline, and I was her all-bad scapegoat. I'm in the peanut gallery and the cashew gallery and the almond gallery tonight, and the peanut gallery ball. So yeah, a lot of times people who have complex PTSD get a diagnosis of borderline when they're not borderline at all. They just have complex PTSD. So y'all don't want me to get the chicken out, because I had to get the chicken out last week, and y'all paid the price. Somebody hadn't seen the chicken. That's really why I wasn't punishing y'all. So Kelly, when do we know we are ready to look after our own inner child and not worry about other folks' inner child? Guilt always makes me put others ahead of mine. I'd say it's always a good idea to take really good care of your own inner child. And there might be moments, or days where you're called upon to give and to sacrifice. But it's not selfish to take really good care of yourself, Kelly. So many of us codependents spend so much time taking care of other people that we don't take care of ourselves nearly enough. Robert said that his brothers didn't participate in the house care, so he became a hero to help his dad from flipping out. Oh. One of the things I would do, this is sort of shaming to me, is I would battle cockroaches. My mom didn't keep a very good kitchen, and whoever was in charge of doing the dishes, which wasn't me very often, didn't take care of the dishes very well, and we had cockroaches. And sometimes I would go in my hero mode and battle cockroaches and kill a bunch of them, and that made me feel heroic and powerful. But I hate cockroaches to this day. There's U.S. Mail 91 2001, and he wants me to mention him every time on videos, so I'm going to go ahead and mention him. Emotional detectives trying to be normal. What is normal? Sarah says that she never wants to be normal. So, other questions, my friends? U.S. Mail says, thanks, bro. Jackie had a question. What was your question, Jackie? What? I missed Jackie's question. Question. Why do some narcissists get a look of hatred when they are abusing you? It's just who they are. They're mean people. And when their mask comes down, then they have this wicked, scary look to them. The look was always there. Sometime the mask, just comes down. The borderline that I was with could be raging and scary, and all of a sudden another voice would come out of her that was calmer. And me and my naivety and lack of insight, I thought it was her being non-reactive and healthy, but it was really her showing her buried real self. So I missed on that one. Okay, wild roses. How long does it take for PTSD symptoms to show up? I was at the Route 91 shooting about a week ago, and I'm not sure if what I'm experiencing is PTSD or not. What happened on Route 91? Of course, everybody knows about what happened in Las Vegas, but what happened on Route 91? Tell us about that shooting, Wild Roses. Hi, hello. How do you figure out what you want? There's a lot of how questions being asked a lot of times, and it's not about how, it's about an ongoing process of your own recovery, and it's about re-engineering your personality from the ground up. So it isn't really about how to do this and how to do that. It's when you're healthy, you will be open and authentic, and you'll know who you are, you know where you came from, you know where you want to go. Kelly Wood says that it's an awful thing to see the mask slip. I just didn't know what I was seeing. I was seeing something evil and horrific. And oh, the Route 91 concert. Duh. So Wild Roses was at the Las Vegas shooting. The band was Route 91. Well, tell us your story. I mean, was there bullets whizzing around your head? I mean, what did you experience? What did you experience? And what kind of symptoms are you having that might be PTSD related? Okay. Emotional detective. I always had one good girlfriend. that sounds like a lost child. Eliza, thank you so much. You've made me look at things differently now, and I really understand my situation. God bless you, sir. Well, God bless you back, and thank you for your very, very kind words. Yeah, Emotional Detective says she was left out and bullied in preschool and then in primary school. So yeah, lost child. Bummer. But a lost child many times does have one or two really good friends that you keep up with. Hi says, how do you take care of your own baby when you have complex PTSD? Oh my goodness gracious. That sounds horrible. I was my own baby when I had fresh complex PTSD. I needed to be cared for and nurtured. So, you do your best. Hi, hello. You do your best and you get as much help as you can. Emotional Detective says, not lost, I'm an ASPI. What's an ASPI? What's an ASPI? ASPI? ASPI. Jackie, can a narcissist care about anyone else or perhaps their children, or is it really only about them and only them? Jackie, I think you're trying to just avoid me getting out the chicken, and you're serving me up softballs here. Asperger's syndrome. Okay, well, that maybe isn't a lost child, but it is familiar. It's similar to that. I believe that you're not a narcissist. You are 100%, or you aren't 0%. That there's a lot of gray area in between. And to me, a really low-level narcissist probably is capable of caring. Some had a back itch issue. Caring for their children, but a moderate to severe greater narcissist, whatever they do with their children, they do it for themselves. They may give their children $1 million, but they never do it for anybody else. They do it for themselves. Hi, hello says, you are awesome and validating. Well, I try to be validating to people. It's a joy to be validating to people. U.S. Mel says he's 56, single and happy, and he been through. I think he's looking for a date. U.S. Mel, are you looking for? It looks like one of those advertisements for Match.com. This might be a fella who's looking for a healthy date. Maybe we should try to match folks up on our show. Are most athletes narcissist? That's funny. I was just talking about this with Renda. I would say that many professional athletes are narcissists. And that is Jackie was giving me softballs and she wants to know if I want hard balls. Okay, give me the fastball, girl. So, if you're a superstar athlete, you get recruited starting in junior high, and you're God. And in high school, you're God, and in college, you're God, and then as a pro, you're God, and every time you leave the locker room, there's a groupie waiting for you there to have sex, and yeah, it's a narcissistic environment, and I think many of the people who are professional athletes do tend to be narcissists, but there are many who aren't. in football, it seems like all the wide receivers are like major narcissists. It's the diva position. I'm having a hard time navigating. Okay, that's better. Andy says that his narcissistic ex was an actor. Let's all guess which actor. Was it Gene Hackman? I love Gene Hackman. So Kelly says, I think I get slammed by a family member every time we get together. They insult me, excuse me, nicely, then hug me and say, I love ya, and it is so nice to see ya. Get out. He acts like I'm a hermit. I wouldn't go be visiting that family member no more. The pledge of a narcissist: get all you can, and can all you get, and can all you get. Hugh Jackman, seriously? Wow. He's a pretty cool guy. In the movies. What's his character? The guy with the scratchy things. I should know this. Hugh Jackman in the superhero movies. It's not Wolfman, it's something else. My brain doesn't work quite as well as it used to. Y'all may have noticed. So, what else you got? What else you got? Wolverine. That was Diana and Kate Nadine. Diana, you beat Kate Nadine by a split second, so you win the grand prize, which is leftover peanuts is the grand prize tonight. Kelly, let's just say that they are a central patriarch and they used to be in charge. Oh, Sarah beat you too? Sarah, the winner! I will send you these peanuts that are left over and have like fingerprints on them. Ew. So, Andy says he's not famous, but maybe one day, but I hope not. Oh, he's not that Hugh Jackman. A different Hugh Jackman. Is that... Is Wolverine, isn't he named Hugh Jackman? Emotional Detective says, sometimes I don't know what you're talking about. Emotional Detective, oh, Andy was kidding. I thought Andy was serious. He wishes he was involved with Hugh Jackman. A lot of times, Emotional Detective, I don't know what I'm talking about either. So, Joe, ever do you ever have a foreboding feeling? Sometimes I just have this sense that the world is a scary place and something bad is going to happen. You know? It's like you fight, and you know, sometimes still, you know, something bad happens. So it's like as soon as you get comfortable, you know, you got to be careful in the world. You got to be careful. Music lover. My ex had brain scans and everything. That's what gave me validation. Then I had to come up with a way to get him out of the house. Perhaps as the dating process, we should require potential mates to have brain scans and see what their brains look like. Because I know the brain of a narcissist looks way different from a brain of a non-narcissist. Okay, so I'm about ready to reach for the chicken. Andy did say that he was a mascot, and he came up with the whole Hugh Jackman thing. And I was like, see, that shows you how naive I am. I believed him. I was like, really? What's his name? What character does he play? Okay, Kelly Wood. I was actually smacked down by a narcissist, and it was actually a favor to me. I've been smacked down by 3, 2 borderlines and a narcissist, and it's done me a world of good. It's helped heal my deepest unresolved family of origin wounds, and it's helped me learn a whole lot about the true nature of the world. What's a squirrel? Did I squirrel a little bit? We don't need brain scans. We can use boundaries and take things slow. Thank you, Little Miss. Little Miss has got it going on. Little Miss is smart. I'm trying to get to your comment, Jackie, but I'm having issues with it. Maybe they can come up with an anti-narcissist shot like a flu shot. And then when a narcissist gets the shot, they die. That would be good. Oh, Hugh Jackman likes ladies. I figured he did. I hadn't heard the rumor that he was a lovely gay man. So that's funny. U.S. Mail says they do blood tests, why not brain scans? The death shot. Kate Nadine, how in the world is my malignant, covert narcissist sister-in-law staying married for 30 years to her cocky cop hubby? I don't know, Kate Nadine. It's not necessarily a sign of good mental health just because somebody stays married. Okay, back to Wild Roses. Get a little slurp here. So thank you for sharing about your experience, Wild Roses. The gunman opened fire. My fiance and I had been at the concert for about 5 minutes. As soon as the shots were going off, I looked at him and I said, "That was gunfire." And he said, "Run." So, did you guys get out early? Did you see people being shot? Just hearing the gunfire and running can cause PTSD. But I suppose it would be worse PTSD if you saw, people who were killed or shot or bullets ricocheting around, that kind of thing. Okay, so then Wild Roses says, we ran out of the concert and into the street and into the Tropicana Hotel. Inside of the hotel there was a complete panic. Girls were screaming and running in all directions. It was a complete panic. Girls were screaming and running in all directions. So Sarah doesn't want the shot to the narcissist to kill them. He just wants to turn them to green or maybe purple, so then we could recognize them. Wild Roses said, while we were running and I kept hearing this whispering, my fiance said that the gunfire, my fiance said that we had to hide and, oh, okay. Once inside the hotel, I saw people that were bleeding, and I told my fiance that we had to hide, and I found her, hide to find her way to the rooftop of the Tropicana and hid until we thought it was safe. I can't stop hearing the gunfire. I feel numb and sad at the same time. Every time I have to talk about what happened, my whole body just shakes. Yes. That is definitely PTSD. You know, just like you were in Vietnam and being shot at by a sniper. Robert says maybe a trauma specialist, somebody who does PTSD, who does EMDR, might be helpful to you. Wild Roses says, I'm sorry my comments are all over the place, but it's only letting me write so many words. You're fine. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Share your story. Share your story. What you went through was horrible. It was horrific. Andy says, you know, I have a borderline mother. I've always been scared of women. I wonder if I'd had a healthy bond with her, whether I would even be gay. I don't want to get on this topic, Andy. I think we disagreed once on this topic, Andy. Well, now we're on the topic. My experience is all of us, our sexuality is grounded in the wounding of our childhood. So I wasn't born attracted. Andy, you changed your mind. Well, that's really interesting. I am right, Andy, actually. I know I'm right. But everybody's sexuality is calibrated by their psychological woundedness in their childhood. I wasn't born attracted to crazy bitches. I got that way as a result of being brought up by my mama. So, yes, Miss Virgo, you can ask a question. So every lovely gay man, my best friend is gay, that I've known, Andy, has been severely abandoned by his dad and overly fused with his mother. And if you were fused to a borderline mother who was scary and you didn't have a bond, when your sexuality got calibrated, it very well, could have impacted whether you're heterosexual or homosexual. That makes all the sense in the world. However we're wounded, that's who we're going to like. So, Miss Virgo, doesn't care, very mean, hateful. Doesn't care, very mean, hateful. I don't know what the question is. Hi, hello. If my daughter seems to not care or be affected when we scream at each other, does that mean she's a narcissist? No. Hi, hello. It doesn't mean she's a narcissist. It means she's well defended. it means there's been so much yelling and screaming at your house that she's sort of gotten used to it. But it doesn't mean that she's a narcissist just because she isn't impacted by the yelling and the screaming. You never know the direction that this show's going to go. Just when it goes one way, it sort of heads another way. So Miss Virgo's talking about her dad, and he's abusive, and he doesn't care, and he's mean and hateful. He sounds like a narcissist. Kelly, I beg to differ. You're not born with your sexuality. You're just not. It just counteracts everything I believe in about you. Here's how it works. I'm gonna lay down some knowledge on y'all. So try to be open to what I got to say here. This is important. And understanding, I'm gonna tell you the meaning of romantic love. All right, here we go. Everybody gets wounds in their childhood. There you are. You got your wounds, and then Mother Nature. Then Kelly says that she should be gay. No. Everybody's different. Just because you're abandoned by parents, it doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to be gay or not gay. So thankfully, Mother Nature then provides us with psychological defense mechanisms. Starting at about 18 months old, we gets us some walls. And this is most kids, most teenagers, most people in their 20s. Mother Nature wants to have people's walls up. Sometimes a 26-year-old will come to therapy, and I pat them on their head and I say, God bless you for coming, but you're not going to get it because you're too much like this. Once you go out and get run over by a few trucks and then call me in 10 years. So Mother Nature has the first agenda of wanting you to survive your childhood and have as few wounds and damage as possible. The second agenda that Mother Nature has is that during your 20s you fall in love, get married, and have yourself some babies. So Mother Nature wants to propagate the species. But there's a third agenda, and that is Mother Nature is all about healing Mother Nature. So Mother Nature would like to heal your wounds, but this person is beyond redemption. They can't be helped because they're too walled off. Mother Nature needed a tool to tear down your defense mechanisms. And this is what Mother Nature came up with. It's called love, dating, and marriage. And we get all twisted up on the inside by our issues. And when we get twisted up on the inside with our issues, that's what calibrates our sexuality. And then we go to a party the day we meet our spouse, and let's say there's 99 lovely, kind, non-narcissists in the room, and one, daughter of the devil himself. Will, in my case, I'll take home the daughter of the devil, because there's a radar system that says, Mama, I think you're hot. Let me work on my issues. So the purpose of love and dating is to tear down your psychological defense mechanisms so that you bleed. And somebody comes in my office like this, I can help them. I can change their life significantly. I can do miracles with these people. So this is what love and marriage is for. But if everybody's born with their sexuality, this theory isn't true. And this theory is true, my friends. This is the meaning of love and marriage. And it's why all of us tend to pick narcissists. It's why we're attracted to narcissists. How many of you only picked one? I picked 3 or 4 myself. I ain't picking no more, though. I married me a good woman. Okay. Let's back up, back up, back up, back up. Okay. What the F? It's an interesting name. All my research about my toxic relationships leads to her and cluster B and me being an empath. Okay, sounds reasonable. I do have several traits, but everyone says I'm very selfish and an asshole. How can I find out if I'm an empath? Brother, if you go by the name What the F, and everybody says you're selfish and an asshole, you're probably not an empath. I'm just saying. You don't sound like an empath. You sound like you're a little edgy. Just a guess. Music lover. Maybe I should date a few more diagnosed narcissists to heal my wounds. Yeah, music lover. I wouldn't recommend that. I'd be very careful. You probably will date a few more narcissists. I mean, that's how Mother Nature heals us. But I hope you don't. Hi, hello. That's sort of a cool name. My daughter can never face my eyes. She's too defensive and cannot sleep. I think she's living on high stress, sadly. Yeah, your daughter sounds really wounded. Emotional Detective says that was a nice little lecture that I gave. So thank you. Sarah says a lot of women hit on me, and it's very discouraging when you say, sorry, but I'm not gay. I got a funny story. Me and my best buddy, who is a lovely gay man, I had a conference in New Orleans before Katrina, and we went to New Orleans, and one night he dragged me to a gay bar. I'm not gay. I was just hanging out with my buddy, and I was really insulted that nobody hit on me in the gay bar, but I was in the corner staring at the wall. And I understand that a lot of connection with probably not just gay people, but heterosexual people is all about the eyes. So I really wasn't offended that I wasn't hit on. I was very uncomfortable. I'm not uncomfortable with gay people. I was a little uncomfortable in the gay leather. It was a gay leather bar in New Orleans. Okay, where are we going? There are YouTube videos that can help you find out if you're an empath, says Kate Nadine. Music lover, I've got adrenaline fatigue from dealing with this bullshit my whole life. I took a test. We're doing some marital work, and I took a little test, and part of it was measuring stress. And I got like 90, like really, really, really super high. So recovering and putting your life back together, it really is, stressful stuff. Wild Roses, thank you everyone for your kind words, and thank you, Mark, for responding to my question. Yes, Wild Roses, you were traumatized, your life was threatened, you saw blood. Please go to a trauma specialist. Robert says, I hear magnesium and zinc helps a very fatigued brain, maybe vitamin D. And then somebody asks somewhere where Renda's at tonight. Who asked that? I say that I was upset that I didn't get hit on in the gay bar, and my lovely friend Andy here says he'd hit on me. Well, thank you, Andy. I feel so much better knowing that you would hit on me. Thank you for that. Kim, then note, where's Renda? Renda's sick. She's been having some serious health problems, but we're getting treatment. She doesn't got cancer or anything. It's just, I don't really want to talk about her health problems, but she's been sick, and I was supposed to be off duty on the show, but I love doing the show, so it's not a hardship for me. So hi, hello. Maybe he's edgy because he's defensive and not his true self. You can be very toxic and not a narcissist. That's true, Little Miss. Little Miss is smart. Sharon Kelly said the diagram was very helpful. One per episode. What, little talk? Little mini lecture? What should we do, one per episode? Oh, the nice little lecture. I could do that. I've got like 5,000 little lectures. I just have to prepare just a tiny little bit. That wouldn't be a problemo. Okay. Help. How do I help her when I have PTSD myself? Your baby? How do you help your baby? Hi, hello. You just have to do your best. Just try to take care of your best. Take care of yourself and get people helping you who are safe. It takes a village to raise the children. And just do your best. That's all you can hope to do. You're in a difficult situation. If you were shot in the stomach and stumbling around, then everybody would understand that you can't be such a great mama just right at that time. Little Miss says, you're a good friend for going in the leather bar. I just wanted to hang out with my buddy, and that's where he wanted to go. Okay, where are we at? Andy says gay bars make him uncomfortable too because they're sort of vile. How much is a session in a gay bar, or where are we talking about? Talking about a therapy session? What kind of session are we talking about? You can work with Renda as a life coach, and our fees are a little higher than what a lot of people that have their finances destroyed by narcissistic abuse can afford. But her fee's $100, and but she'll lower it a bit if you would ask her. And my fee's pretty high. And that's just because I've got 30 years of experience. So, still talking about hi, hellos, baby. She used to kick a lot in the wound, so I think she was born really stressed out. I think you're right. Sarah hasn't been in a bar in 30 years. Emotional detective, get better, Renda, if you're watching. I don't know if she's watching, because she might. She was watching the Andy Griffith show a little bit ago and napping. So I don't know. She might log on and say boo to us. Jackie says, we miss you, Renda. Oh, it was Sharon that asked the question. My bad. And I thought the diagram was helpful, not me. Diana said it'd be good to have a theme. You know, we used to have themes to shows. And I would come and just sort of talk on a theme. But, okay, so prepare one Lil lecture, L-I-L, Lil lecture per show, please. I can do one Lil lecture every show, and we could do themes too. We used to do themes, but then we did themes, and then all of a sudden, somebody would ask a question off the theme, and then we were themeless, or in theme. Cognitive dissonance or something. Somebody's Andy says, I've only been to a leather bar once and my college tutor was there. It was awkward. 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 It takes a village to raise an idiot. Jackie, what does that mean? The saying is it takes a village to raise the children. What does that mean, it takes a village to raise an idiot? That didn't sound very nice. Emotional detective says, I love to learn new things. Well, give me a topic. I probably have a little lecture on the topic. Jackie's sending sunflowers and little pink flowers and little orange roses to Renda to get better. Mark, Jackie says, I'm so sorry, I'm allergic to children. Okay. Children are cool. I'm allergic to them when I'm in a restaurant and I'm sitting there quietly enjoying the peace, and then a family with 3 small children gets seated next to me and all of my tranquility goes bye-bye. That's rugged. That's tough. Or when you're on an airplane. We were getting on an airplane on Sunday, and there was a screeching kid, but it turns out she was halfway up the airplane, so it didn't bother too much. But we did have a very chatty, sort of blowhard talk. Thank goodness for headsets. You put a headset on real loud, it can drown out most of the stuff. He sideways on the highways. He says, hopefully Renda recovers soon. Hi Mark, hi everybody. Music lover, I haven't slept in 3 days. I'm in a fight or flight mode. My thoughts are racing and I'm severely hypervigilant. Music lover, I don't know if it would be possible to get some good sleep medication, but I think some sleep medication might do you some good, because you need to sleep. You need to get some sleep to take care of yourself. Kelly, you would not have liked being in the restaurant with us this Thanksgiving. My niece and nephew were all over. Were they cute or obnoxious? I like cute kids. I just don't like obnoxiously loud children. Emotional detective loves children. Children represent your feelings and trigger how you feel about your own. What they do for me, if they're loud, is they trigger my PTSD. Because loud music triggers my PTSD. A loud talker. If I'm in a restaurant and there's a loud talker, like, on Seinfeld, I just want to go over and just take a piece of duct tape and tape it on their mouth and say, "Shut up, you dumbass. I can hear you. I'm 8 tables away and I can't hear the person that I'm sitting in front of talking because I'm hearing you scream." So I have issues with PTSD and loudness. So Italians, Italians are emotional and loud. So Jackie says her cats represent how she feels every day. Was this your week? Filled with love the first 2 days, and then she cried, and then she's been happy to the point of scary grins the last 3 days. We go to a therapist. We just started going. And we came out of the therapy room and there was this beautiful, beautiful cat, black and white cat with beautiful yellow-green eyes. And she came over and visited with us. And then we went and we walked on the beach. It's a wonderful thing to go to therapy, have a visit from an angel of a cat, and then go walk on the beach and hold hands and walk on the beach. And then it's even better if you get to go to Outback afterwards and eat steak. Kelly says, my cousin is louder and her therapist says, tell them you are lively, not loud. Lively's good, but loud can be obnoxious. Hi, hello says, my baby dissociating triggers my PTSD. Emotional detective, duh. I've got issues with noise all the time. It's an Asperger thing, except kid noises. Kid noises don't bother you. Any kind of loud noise bothers me. Sarah said her mom would just give them the look. The look. The scary look. Jackie says, my husband is hard of hearing, so I have to yell. And then he tells me to quit yelling. What'd you say? Oh, quit yelling. Where'd you go, Andy? Mark, could you discuss narcissistic traits to look out for so we don't get involved with one again? Of course, love bombing. Anybody who tries to move the relationship on too quickly. Anybody who seems too needy. Anybody who wants to get sexual too quickly. Of course, the obvious, an overt narcissist bragging about themselves, spending the whole day talking about themselves, defensiveness, venting and triangling, saying bad things about their exes, not having, if they're a female, not having custody of their children, just inappropriate humor. Just off the top of my head, Andy, somebody who uses sarcasm and puts people down subtly would be another red flag. Music lover, my narcissist tried to suffocate me in my sleep, as I said last week. Today my mother said to me she was sleeping at the end of her bed and my father was giving her a pillow, and she said, "Are you going to try to kill me?" So there's a reenactment. Was my mother trying to trigger a flashback? I'm not sure. Wild Roses, I was seeing her before the shooting and we were working on my past traumas and we were using their... You were seeing a therapist and working on the past traumas, and then you're there to get shot at by this insane man who murdered all those people. Narcissists are really bad with money. Music lover, I have recurrent nightmares about being suffocated. So yeah, music lover, if there's any way to get you to an EMDR therapist, that would be helpful for you. Thank you, Andy. Somebody who presents as a victim, you know, they present, oh, I'm, you know, got treated so bad by my ex. Poor me, I lost my job because of my boss. My kids don't love me. Presenting like a victim, exactly. Wild Roses says, I spoke to her 4 days after the shooting, and she just said to do a lot of self-care and use the coping coping skills I know. I've been through a lot of pre-shooting, so I know a lot of coping skills. That's good. Coping skills in such a situation are good. Sarcasm is fine, Andy says. I'm also sarcastic, but it's different with a narcissist. A narcissist is humiliating. They humiliate people with their sarcasm. But you can use sarcasm in a very humorous and appropriate way, I believe. Emotional detective. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. I have no idea what that means. Emotional detective, explain yourself. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Andy, narcissists will be sadistic to get personal and shame you. It makes you feel really bad, like unlike garden variety sarcasm. I was working with somebody the other day, and they got a sponsor in a 12-step group, and the sponsor then proceeded to shame them, put them down, tell them they couldn't do things, give them wrong information. And I said, run. That's not a true 12-step person. That's a narcissist feeding at the trough of a 12-step meeting, who is all about putting people down. That's what that is. Kelly says, Kate Nadine, not that I am perfect, but I know how I felt and I didn't want them to feel that way. That's empathy. Kate Nadine, I'm getting tired. I try to understand her, but she needs a lot of patience. so I don't always feel bad enough when I hurt her by ignoring her feelings. It's hard to feel bad when I can't manage. So yeah, appropriate humor never humiliates. Sarah 06-ish says, my father-in-law used to humiliate me around strangers, saying, look at me when I talk to you. So Emotional Detective said, the main thing is keeping the main thing the main thing. She found it on Twitter and she pasted it. Well, what does it mean? I don't know what it means. Yes, Andy, Kelly says, I know that what you mean. We have a sarcastic narcissist in the family. It drives us crazy. Jackie says, I don't like to hurt people, and I do like children. I have had too many nieces and nephews and grew up in a big family, and she enjoys the quiet. By the way, the trolls have been keeping to themselves online. Yeah, we haven't been really having any troll issues, so that's lovely, isn't it? Hi, hello, Sarah. I know how you feel. My father is also very rude and screaming at me in public, and they don't see your feelings. What my mother would do would be vicious privately, and then she'd get on the phone or be in public and she'd act like Doris Day and Mary Poppins put together. But alone, she acted like, Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Just sort of crazy, mean, hurtful rager. It means to focus on the main thing. Okay. I didn't mean to give you a hard time. I had too many main things and my brain got all sore thinking about it. Sarah says that her mom is covert narcissist. Kelly says, I feel like I am on the inside looking out to the person I want to be and feel like I am on the edge of getting there. But then someone says or does something and I can't break out. What do you mean, Kelly, you can't break out when somebody says something? Sarah, I'm sorry. Hi, hello. Thanks for sharing. I think he was a narcissist. He also would say things pretending to be joking. A little truth in every joke. Hi, hello. Dad was probably overt, but he really didn't seem to know what he was doing. That could be possible. Just somebody who's oblivious and narcissistic and hurts people and doesn't do it with a plan or an agenda. Sarah, I mean, he would say mean things and pretend to be joking. Well, my friends, my people, what the F says, how do I heal my inner child when I can't remember it? Heal what you can remember. Get into therapy. So many things that I didn't remember when I started therapy have come up for me as my therapy progressed. So start with what you know and don't be in a hurry, and more will be revealed. Andy says, then narcissists want to tell you how good they are at acting all the effing time. Sharon Kelly, what kinds of things cause borderline personality? What do you think led to your mom's borderline? My mom was the product of an inappropriate relationship, an affair, if you will, between my 19-year-old grandmother and the man of the house who she was the nanny for, and that resulted in my mother. So then My grandmother was a devout Catholic. There was not going to be an abortion, and my mother was sent to an orphanage for the first 3 years of her life. So I think what happened with my mother's borderline is she didn't attach with her mother. She didn't attach to anybody. And then there might have been abuse, the first 3 years of her life. Then she gets out of the orphanage, and the man that my grandmother married was just a raging narcissist who hated my mother. So yeah, my mom comes by her issues quite naturally. Sarah says, hey Renda, get well soon. What the F says, thank you, sir. Sarah Welty, I don't remember a lot from the first years, not sure what this means yet. It did good. If you don't remember year 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's because there's some kind of trauma in your childhood, whether it be abuse or abandonment. Kelly Wood, because I am still working on setting boundaries and still get wounded when it happens, but I know what they are doing and trying not to let them, so I see the other side where I never used to see the other side. Hi, hello. Some narcs don't seem to know what they are doing is mean. It's just who they are. Amen. And then the purposely mean ones, they're really bad. Okay, folks, it is 9:42. I think we started long about 15 minutes late, so we just have a couple of minutes. Emotional detectives, I remember almost everything from being in a pram. Explain yourself, being in a pram. Sideways, how do I channel my energy to take better physical care of myself? I do often feel like I don't care about my health. I have been gaining weight gradually. Brother, I can't preach what I'm not practicing. My self-care physically sort of comes and goes. I have seasons where I really exercise a lot, and I do stay away from carbohydrates, but I guess I'm not staying away from enough of them because I've gained a little weight. So for me, it's like I have so much stress and busyness and conflict with various entities that it's hard for me to get really focused on a self-care program. So that's what I would say sideways is get to a good place in your life, and then you can get busy making self-care, weight loss, eating well, and exercising a way of life. Diana says, good night all. Renda says, get well soon, Renda. Sarah says, or is it that I am an IMFP? Introverted, intuitive, feeling, perception. I'm an INFJ, Sarah, so we're similar. Jackie says, I don't want to die skinny. I want to die happy, but not obese. Andy says, good night, my dears. That's a sweet way to say good night. Hi, hello says she loves this place. Well, we love you too. Sideways says, I work a physical job on the construction and I sweat a lot. Heebie-jeebies no more. I am an INFJ. You know, it takes a lot of energy to be an INFJ because you're an introvert. And so a busy day of seeing clients all day really drops my energy down. So I'm gonna chill out on the back porch just for a little bit. My ex is a high-ranking official where we live and knows everything, so therapy here is out of the question. Is online therapy accept? Of course. We offer Skype sessions here at Family Tree. You can email me at jones.basketball.com. It's probably the easiest one. jones.basketball.com. jones.basketball@gmail.com. jones.basketball@gmail.com. Sarah, emotional detective, INFJ. Sarah, INFJ. Dudes, birds of a feather flock together. That's a lot of music lover, INFJ. Dudes, I wonder what that means about us. U.S. male, INFJ. Okay, Kelly, first, little different, ISFJ. Wow. A lot of INFJs in the house. Hi, hello, INFJ. Wow. I wonder what that means. We rock, that's what it means. All right, folks, my daughter called me and she wants to chat with me. So I'm gonna go give her a shout. Heebie-jeebies is so cool. What does it mean? I was thinking the same about INFJ. It's the Myers-Briggs. The N stands for intuitive versus sensing. So intuitive is more of a gut. Jane Doe, INTJ. Jane Doe's different from most of us folks. Heebie-jeebies says night-night. Marky says night-night. Really enjoyed tonight. God bless y'all. Love you guys. I'll say hello to my wife and I'll take good care of her. God bless y'all. We'll see you next week.